Oh, you're taking it.
Okay.
Welcome back to the
So
breakfast
those are the
express.
things that happens off the
Behind the scene,
camera.
yes,
Exactly.
welcome back. So, Okwe is supposed to take the first discussion.
Yes. Let's look at it. And we're looking at the APC primaries and the issue of internal democracy in Nigeria. Democracy, they say, is a journey, but this morning, Nigerians are once again thinking whether we're moving outward or running in circles as we take a look at the ruling party from Ekiti to Ogun, from Lagos to Kano. The story of APC National Assembly primaries has been anything but pretty. In Ikole Ekiti, party members and stakeholders are raising serious allegations of irregularities with concerns over how the exercise was conducted, trailing the primaries like a dark cloud. But it does not stop there. In Lagos, it should have been an orderly internal party process. It has descended into chaos and violence, with the sitting commissioner attacked. Nollywood actor turned lawmaker Desmond Elliott was caught in the crossfire in Surulere. To the violence that threatened the Mushin National Assembly primaries over the weekend, and the situation in Ogun State so volatile that the members of the Bato GD felt compelled to appeal to Senator Gbenga Daniel's people to stay away from the primaries entirely to avoid a needless bloodbath because of the threat flying around already. Let that sink in. A community leader asking his people not to participate in the democratic process, not because they don't care, but because they fear for their lives. Let's look into this. And so the question that hangs all over is this, and the question has refused to go away. Simply this persisting one. When exactly will Nigeria's democracy grow up? When are we going to reach the point where the transfer of power, even at the primaries election level, does not require security details, emergency appeals, and hospital visits? Are we ever going to get to that point?
We can. And I'm sure you're surprised that this answer is coming from me. We can. I think we can. But it takes you and I. It takes. We're not. Let's take the leaders out of the equation right now. The current leaders that we have. Let's take them away. Let's assume they don't exist. In answering this question, I want it to be rid of the thought of corruption. I want it to be rid of the thought of oppression. I want it to be rid of everything negative. So I'm going to just answer you, on a positive note. I am an optimistic person by nature. And so, yes, we can. Can you remember when Obama was doing his campaign? Everything he said,
Yes, we
yes, we
can.
can. I share the same birthday with Obama, the 4th of August. I'm an optimistic person by nature. Yes, we can. I think that there's nothing that's impossible, to get done, to do, especially with God behind us. All we need is to do a thorough cleansing of ourselves first. And like a joke, I keep saying it on the program when we're rounding up. I say, go stand in front of the mirror and take a look at yourself. Get rid of those things, those ugly things that make you not you. And after you do that, when we do a thorough cleansing of ourselves and say to ourselves, we need to be focused, to be disciplined, we need to have integrity, we need to choose the right people to lead us. Then we take the next step of choosing leaders like ourselves, our cleansed selves, not the selves that would take an envelope because you are a journalist, a brown envelope, so that you can write positive stories. Gratis is different from bribe. It's different from honorarium, if you know what I mean. So I'm saying that we can do it, we can get there. But we need to, first of all, understand what we want. Because the problem is that in these times, our own focus, our very focus, our priority is money. First on the list. Second on the list is money. Third and last on the list is money. So people want to do anything for money. Corruption is the order of the day and all of that. But the day we take that decision to put all of that behind us, we can get to that point.
I agree with you. And if you look at the politicization of our democracy, there are two different things. Democracy is different from politics, and I'll continue to say it. Democracy is a form of government. Politics is an act of government. There are two clear different things. But we struggle to separate it in this country. That's why we're where we are right now. A primaries election should be effortless.
Yeah, I was going to come
Even
to
general
that.
election itself should be effortless.
I just answered the first question though. So that's can we get to that? Yes. What do we practice in Nigeria? We don't practice a democracy.
I don't understand
I'm sure you
type of
understand.
democracy.
I'm sure you know, but I'm sure you know we don't practice a democracy.
We practice democracy.
Really?
Maybe we're not just doing it the way democracy should be done. We have a democratic system of government. We conduct periodic elections. People choose their leaders. I mean, those are the basic features
No, by the
of
time
democracy.
you start saying choose, and
because
you're
sometimes
putting it
we
in
choose and then the
inverted
courts
commas.
will say otherwise. We have a governor in Nigeria that came fourth in an election, but he's a two-term governor of Imo State. He came fourth in an election.
So, okay, you see, our responsibility as journalists on this table is to say it as it is. So I don't think we're practicing a democracy if the kind of things that you speak about is happening.
And that's what I keep saying, that democracy is not the problem. The form of government is not the problem. It is the people administering that government that's the problem. So we have institutionally democracy. But are we practicing democracy the way it should be practiced? No.
We're
So
not.
we cannot say we are not practicing democracy, but we're not practicing it the way it should be practiced. If we say, what government do we have today? Democratic system of government. Because we are following the basic tenets of democracy. We are doing transitional election. We are doing parliamentary election. We have the executive. We have the arms of government. Those are the components of a democracy. So institutionally, we have democracy in place. But are we practicing democracy the way other countries should practice it? No.
Well, I would say that we're meant to be practicing democracy, but we're not practicing democracy.
Exactly.
We're meant to be. That makes all the difference. We're meant to be practicing democracy. But are we practicing democracy in this country? No, we're not. We know what democracy is. The set rules have been laid down. If we walk by those rules, yes, we are practicing democracy. If we don't walk by those rules, we're not practicing democracy. We're doing what we want. We're running the government according to the leader.
In place.
In place.
Not the constitution.
Not the constitution. When the constitution starts to take second place in the affairs of a nation, it's no longer democracy. It's not. We're just doing what we want. Look at the example that you gave me. That about Wole Soyinka. I mean, if you give us that,
yes. So I was watching. I think I have the audio in one of my media space there, and Professor Wole Soyinka said he was checking out of an hotel on the island a few months ago, and then right from where he was, he saw a large crowd downstairs of security details and all of that. So he was thinking they were shooting a movie. So he was like, oh, let him just go there to see what movie they were shooting. So he asked the security guy that was waiting for them to bring his car to pick him up, that, oh, what movie are they shooting? And the security guy said, no, it's not a movie. And then as he was talking to the security guy, the son of the president, Sheyi Tinubu, spotted him and ran to greet him. So he was like, oh, what are you guys doing here? They said, no, it's just my guy. So he said he looked at the number of security guards attached with the son of the president, that one, does not have a place in the constitution, two, does not have the right to have any. Who are you that we are protecting? That's the question I want to ask. Who exactly is the son? Even the wife of the president,
who is
the office of the first lady is not recognized by the constitution. We just glamorize this, and then we start pumping in taxpayers' money into that space. The first lady is a senator of the federal republic, or was a senator, and that's the highest she could have gotten in the eye of the law. So now look at the son of the president.
It's not the highest, actually. She can also be the president.
No, I mean in terms of her office.
Okay.
When she was a senator, she can enjoy the paraphernalia of being a senator. But the office of the first lady is not recognized by the constitution.
I agree.
And this is not even Sheyi Tinubu alone. I've seen the sons of governors. I've seen wives of senators. I've seen children of public office holders in this country that are wielding enormous influence and control. They move in places, they go into malls, and then they close the door of the malls until they go out. So they live above the people that are paying them to sustain their lifestyle. So I don't disagree with you when you say we don't have democracy, because the people administering democracy are not administering it the way it should be administered.
It's simple.
In a democracy, I should be able to ask questions. Mr. President, how do you sleep at night knowing that a 2-year-old child is in the kidnapper's den? Mr. President, how do you allow the ruling party that is saddled with the responsibility of protecting the people go on with party primaries when over 42 of your citizens are stuck in kidnappers' den? How do you wake up every day to say go on with the primaries when one of your citizens was beheaded because he was looking for his daily meal? How do you sleep at night?
My prayer is by the blood of the man that was shed, speak for him or fight for him. Because that man was totally innocent. His crime was serving Nigeria through impacting knowledge and values to children who would one day grow and be useful to this country. That was his crime. His crime was that he didn't become a politician. Because if that man had become a politician,
he will have access to security.
Of course, his security detail will be there. Well, it may be there. Because if it's somebody like Desmond Elliott, whose security detail has been withdrawn, I don't understand. That's why people are saying, should we still go ahead with state police? Because we can, these people actually report to a group of people. So he doesn't agree to do a consensus thing. He doesn't agree with you people. He says, leave it open and let democracy take its place. And then you withdraw his security detail. I don't understand. What kind of country do we live in? Perhaps that teacher should have been a politician. He probably would be dead by now. But not everybody can do politics. The Yoruba say, Bibi Rekoshe Fowora. When you come from a good home and the values have been instilled in you, no matter what is in front of you, no matter how the carrot shines and is dangled in front of you, you will remember the home from which you come. And you will say to yourself, no, I wouldn't go that way. Not for all the tea in China. I wouldn't go that way. Not for all the tea in China. I will respect the name that my parents left for me. I will build on that name. The name I picked up for my husband, I will build on that name. Nigerians, it's time to wake up and smell the coffee. The heat is becoming unbearable.
I think we still have another discussion we can take.
Oh,
this
yes,
morning.
we do.
Yes.
I forgot.
I understand. I understand.
Okay, our second discussion segment. Our topic is state power deregulation and the future of electricity in Nigeria. For decades, electricity, or the lack of it, has been one of the most stubborn obstacles to quality of life and economic growth in Nigeria. But something significant is shifting. Since the deregulation of the electricity sector and the empowerment of states to take charge of their own power destinies, we are beginning to see what is possible when government gets serious. Across several states, the impact is already being felt in homes, in businesses, in the daily rhythm of ordinary Nigerians, and the story is encouraging. But perhaps nowhere is the ambition more boldly stated than in Lagos State. The Lagos State government has unveiled what it is calling a roadmap to end, and I quote, the culture of blackouts, promising a 24-hour electricity market powered by private sector investment, smart metering, and independent power generation across the state. Before we do that, before we show that video, I must say right now that I am green with envy. I am green with envy because I don't live in Lagos State. If Lagos State is about to do what we're about to watch, then I think Okwe and I need to think about a relocation.
The house is expensive in Lagos. Let me be managing my...
Without any power?
My urgent 2K here. in Ogun State.
All right, can we have that video?
Okay,
Okay,
so maybe we'll just wait for the video to be ready.
Yeah.
But I think it's a good one. And I think it's even late. When the president signed that, bill into law and allowed the states to generate and distribute their own electricity, I think a lot of us were really excited. A lot of us thought that it's going to be a departure from the days of having to rely so much on the national grid. And the national grid at this point is so heavy. The national grid at this point is so bombarded that any excess load would lead to a collapse. My friend said it's a national grid, not grid of GRID, but GREED. And I think that's exactly what it is. But as Lagos State always are taking the lead and always are being ahead. When I watched the video of with the Commissioner for Energy and Mineral Resources, Honorable Biodun Ogunleye, when he was talking about, I said, we should have done this long before now. We should have, taken advantage of this and generate enough to even sell to neighboring states.
But the thing is that if we're not given a go-ahead, it is after the go-ahead.
No, the president has signed it over 2 years now. And I think the Lagos State government were just waiting to have enough PPP, that's public-private participation coming on board. Because let's just say with ourselves, it's very expensive to generate and distribute. But again, it's an opportunity for the state to also make money.
But guess what, Okwe? Do you know that when this thing became public, was made public, I knew that Lagos State would take the initiative.
Of course, they have to take the initiative.
I just knew that they would take the initiative. And I knew, that it was time for me to start to reconsider if I want power. Start to reconsider.
You're not going anywhere. You're not leaving us in Ogun. We are there.
Why should I be in a state that doesn't?
It's your state now.
But do we have
is your friend.
Excuse me?
He's your friend. He's a governor. He's a friendly governor.
Is he a police? They said it's the police that's a friend. I don't understand how he's not.
How he's my friend. You are from Ogun East now. He's an incoming senator.
I'm not from Ogun East. I live in Ogun State, and I don't know who the governor is. You don't
know Prince Dapper.
Well, I see him on television. We talk about him, but I don't feel the impact of the governor.
I've seen your picture together.
Unfortunately, well, I know that, like that. I understand where you're going now. That you're trying to make some trouble up there, and that's fine. It's okay. But you and I know that we don't enjoy anything from the state government.
But I think if the Lagos State,
and that's why we envy the people.
If the Lagos State government are able to pull this off. Excuse me, it's also a means to generate revenue for the state, because if you are able to generate enough to sustain your state, you can still sell to neighboring states. So
because we get from Ibadan Electric, you know that Ibadan Electric supplies.
If Ogun State cannot generate epileptically. Crazy enough. So something happened yesterday. I had my gen on day first, day till yesterday. So when I was leaving the house coming to work, I didn't switch over back to NEPA. So I saw a status of someone within my estate that, thank God they gave us light since Thursday or last week Thursday. They brought light for 3 hours. And I had a lot of stuff in my refrigerator, so I was excited. When I go home yesterday, I just noticed that I didn't switch. And that, I went to sleep straight. I'm not going to lie. I just went to sleep straight because I was like, how did I not enjoy 3 hours? Because I don't know when else they'll bring it again. But if Lagos State are able to take the lead, which, we're graceful enough for them, and then they can sell to Ogun State. So if Ogun State cannot generate, they can shall collect and transmit. Because I'm trying to understand how Ogun State is on IBEDC. IBEDC,
I don't understand.
IBEDC have blocked me on X because of what I was using their eyes to see. They blocked me. I cannot tag them in any tweet anymore. Because I keep asking, you are bringing estimated bill as against the promise of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu that if I don't give you electricity, don't vote for me if I come to ask you for a second term. How many Nigerians are enjoying electricity? We are practicing democracy, and you are bringing classism into distribution of the national treasure. Band A, Band B, Band C.
You know the call that we got. It was a surprise call. It was my doctor. I'm even going to the hospital when I leave here.
You finish the conversation. You will conclude the conversation.
Not even that. The thing is, I remember the last time I went to the hospital, he was telling me that for about 3 or 4 weeks.
They've not had electricity.
They've not had electricity.
Imagine running an hospital on diesel.
Can you imagine?
On diesel. Do you know how much they'll spend?
Do you know who bears the brunt?
The people.
Of course.
You and I.
You and I.
A friend of mine runs an hospitality business on the island, and he called me a couple of weeks ago that he's about to close up. And I was like, why? He said, okay, I'm making money, but I'm using the same money to power the business. That twice he's had to do salary cut for his staff because every day there are other things that are coming up.
And we're looking for foreign investors. We're looking for foreign investors when we cannot even help our small and medium scale entrepreneurs in Nigeria. Encourage them. Make sure they have the necessary things that they need to have. Power supply is not luxury. Power supply is not luxury. We can't even do that. And the minister abandoned that post and went to run for. He wants to run for the governorship.
We have another
and I know he has the right to. And I know he has the right to. But I don't think he should, because he didn't perform. It is only in Nigeria that they will give a man like that a place, the chance to even say he wants to. And I'm not saying that on his own, you know, he has a good profile, you know, he knows what he's doing, but he should not have taken the job.
Is not still not better? At least he failed in a responsibility. Yaya Bello was alleged to have embezzled almost how many billions. He's the senator, is the ticket holder for APC's Kogi Central. Ifeanyi Okowa, the former governor of Delta State, was alleged to have stolen over 1 trillion. He was kept in EFCC custody for days. Now he's holding the ticket for Delta North Senatorial District. Governor Adelabu's zone is small. I sure didn't steal money.
Well, like I say, what goes around comes around.
Oh, did I just call him Governor?
You called him Governor Adelabu.
Maybe I'm seeing into the future.
I think you are prophesying for him.
But
that prophecy will never work.
Come and see us.
It won't come and see us.
I should bring money now.
I don't need the money. I don't need the money. If you want to bring money,
you sure the producer
you shouldn't bring money to us.
Not to us.
You should bring money to the station. Yes. Go to the marketing department. Bring the money and pay for your adverts. That's fine. That's fine. You know, but I'm not impressed with him. Anyway, it's time to leave. It's time to call it a day on the Breakfast Express show. And Okpe, you want to say your goodbyes?
Yes, Arsenal fans, have a good day. But my heart is really going out to the people of Orire local government. Unfortunately, the local government contradicts what is happening to them right now. There is no Orire at all in that local government. And I hope that the government and the federal government will do enough to rescue all of those victims alive. Every one of them alive. Have a beautiful day. This show returns tomorrow, and I'll be back, God willing.
All right, don't forget to join us on all follow Instagram, all our social media handles rather. It's at MITV Plus on Facebook, at MITV Plus _NG on Instagram, TikTok, and X. You can also watch our programs live on YouTube at MITV Plus _NG. Please remember to click and like the subscribe buttons. That's it today on our package. My name is Tom Adere. Don't forget what I always tell you. Stand in front of the mirror, change what you need to change, and we'll meet again on the table tomorrow on the Breakfast Express. Thank you for watching, and God bless you.